Hello Year 3! Hope you're all well. I just want to start by saying a really big thank you to those of you who've been emailing Mr. Bettles and I, letting us know what you've been up to and sharing any news with us. We really do love to hear from you. It's just nice and reassuring for us to know that you're happy and safe and well. So yeah, keep those coming. We really are enjoying those. In this blog post below, I've shared some of the photos from my baking challenge that I set a couple of weeks ago. It made me very hungry, actually. But it's been nice to see you having a go at some baking. Lots of you seem to get on really well with the Mars bar slices. So very well done for that. And you can have a little look on the post below and have a look at what other people have been up to. I'm going to read a story for you now. I hope you enjoy it. It's one that I really do like. And I will read you another story very soon. Take care, everyone.
Hello everyone, Storytime with Miss Bailey here, and I've got Poppy here for Storytime as well. This story is called Miss Rumphius, and the story and pictures are by Barbara Cooney. It's a really lovely story, this one. It's about compassion and kindness, and I think you're going to really enjoy it. So, Miss Rumphius. To St. Nicholas, patron saint of children, sailors and maidens. Now, this story is actually set in America. The Lupin Lady lives in a small house overlooking the sea. In between rocks around her house grow blue and purple and rose-coloured flowers. The Lupin Lady is little and old, but she has not always been that way. I know. She is my great aunt, and she told me so. Once upon a time she was a little girl named Alice, who lived in a city by the sea. From the front stoop she could see wharves and the bristling masts of tall ships. Many years ago her grandfather had come to America on a large sailing ship. Now he worked in the shop at the bottom of the house, making figureheads for the prows of ships and carving Indians out of woods to put in front of cigar stores. For Alice's grandfather was an artist. He painted pictures, too, of sailing ships and places across the sea. When he was very busy, Alice helped him put in the skies. So Alice's father makes figureheads for the prows of ships, which are these, you might have seen them on old ships, usually a woman or a mermaid or something on the front of a ship. So here we are. Alice would fill in the skies in his paintings when he was too busy. In the evening, Alice sat on her grandfather's knee and listened to his stories of faraway places. When he had finished, Alice would say, "When I grow up, I too will go to faraway places. And when I grow old, I too will live beside the sea." "That is all very well, little Alice," said her grandfather, "but there is a third thing that you must do." "What is that?" asked Alice. "You must do something to make the world more beautiful," said her grandfather. "All right," said Alice, but she did not know what that could be. In the meantime, Alice got up and washed her face and ate porridge for breakfast. She went to school and came home and did her homework. And pretty soon she was all grown up. So here she is, all grown up. Where do you think she might be working? Then my great aunt Alice set out to do the 3 things she had told her grandfather she was going to do. She left home and went to live in another city, far from the sea and the salt air. She worked in a library, dusting books and keeping them from getting mixed up, and helping people find the ones they wanted. Some of the books told her about faraway places. People call her Miss Rumphius now. Sometimes she went to the conservatory in the middle of the park. When she stepped inside on a wintry day, the warm, moist air wrapped itself around her. The sweet smell of jasmine filled her nose. "This is almost like a tropical isle," said Miss Rumphius, "but not quite." I really like her coat. So we are on a tropical island. She's actually decided to go there. She wanted to go to faraway places. So Miss Rumphius went to a real tropical island where people kept cockatoos and monkeys as pets. She walked on long beaches, picking up beautiful shells. One day she met Baba Raja, king of a fishing village. "You must be tired," he said. "Come into my house and rest." So Miss Rumphius went in and met the Baba Raja's wife. The Baba Raja himself fetched a green coconut and cut a slice off the top so Miss Rumphius could drink the coconut water inside. Before she left, the Baba Raja gave her a beautiful mother-of-pearl shell on which he had painted a bird of paradise and the words, "You will always remain in my heart." "You will always remain in mine too," said Miss Rumphius. There he is giving her a beautiful shell. As you can see, we've got people keeping monkeys and these birds called cockatoos as pets. My great-aunt, Miss Alice Rumphius, climbed tall mountains where the snow never melted. She went through jungles and across deserts. She saw lions playing and kangaroos jumping, and everywhere she made friends that she would never forget. Finally, she came to the land of lotus eaters, and there, getting off a camel, she hurt her back. "Oh, what a foolish thing to do," said Miss Rumphius. "Well, I have certainly seen faraway places. Maybe it's time to find my place by the sea." And it was, and she did. From the porch of her new house, Miss Rumphius watched the sun come up. She watched it cross the heavens and sparkle on the water, and she saw it set in glory in the evening. She started a little garden among the rocks that surrounded her house, and she planted a few flower seeds in the stony ground. Miss Rumphius was almost perfectly happy. "But there is still one more thing I have to do," she said. "I have to do something to make the world more beautiful." But what? The world is already pretty nice, she thought, looking out over the ocean. Oh, what a beautiful place to live. And there's her cat in the garden. I wonder what she's going to do to make the world more beautiful. Have a little think, see if you can predict what you think might happen next. What do you think her plan will be? I'm going to flick back to the front cover. I wonder if that's a bit of a clue. Oh no. The next spring, Miss Rumphius was not very well. Her back was bothering her again, and she had to stay in bed most of the time. The flowers she had planted the summer before had come up and bloomed in spite of the stony ground. She could see them from her bedroom window, blue and purple and rose-coloured. "Lupins," said Miss Rumphius with satisfaction. "I have always loved lupins the best. I wish I could plant more seeds this summer so that I could still have more flowers next year." But she was not able to. So can you see the lupins from her window? After a hard winter, spring came. Miss Rumphius was feeling much better. Now she could take walks again. One afternoon she started to go up and over the hill where she had not been in a long time. "I don't believe my eyes," she cried when she got to the top. For there, on the other side of the hill, was a large patch of blue and purple and rose-coloured lupins. "It was the wind," she said as she knelt in delight. "It was the wind that brought the seeds from my garden here, and the birds must have helped." Then Miss Rumphius had a wonderful idea. I wonder what her wonderful idea is. I think I might know, do you? She hurried home and got out her seed catalogues. She sent off to the very best seed house for 5 bushels of lupin seed. All that summer Miss Rumphius, her pockets full of seeds, wandered over fields and headlands, sowing lupins. She scattered seeds along the highways, that's the American word for roads, and down the country lanes. She flung handfuls of them around the schoolhouse and the back of the church. She tossed them into hollows and along stone walls. Her back didn't hurt at all any more. Now some people called her that crazy old lady. There she goes, scattering seeds. Since I imagine people did think she looked a little bit strange, but you wait, see what's going to happen with all these seeds. The next spring, the lupins were everywhere. Fields and hillsides were covered with blue and purple and rose-coloured flowers. They bloomed along the highways and down the lanes. Bright patches lay around the schoolhouse. Look at all these beautiful flowers. How pretty. Wow. So they bloomed. Bright patches lay around the schoolhouse and back of the church. Down in the hollows and along the stone walls grew the beautiful flowers. Miss Rumphius had done the third and the most difficult thing of all. My great-aunt Alice, Miss Rumphius, is very old now. Her hair is very white. Every year there are more and more lupins. Now they call her the Lupin Lady. Sometimes my friends stand with me outside her gate, curious to see the old lady who planted the fields of lupins. When she invites us in, they come slowly. They think she is the oldest woman in the world. Often she tells us stories of far-away places. When I grow up, I tell her, I too will go to far-away places and come home to live by the sea. "Oh, that is very well, little Alice," says my aunt, "but there is a third thing you must do." "What is that?" I ask. "You must do something to make the world more beautiful." "All right," I say. There she is, little old Miss Rumphius, with all of the children coming to visit. Oh, and there's cookies. Nice. There we go. All these beautiful flowers. Now, if we just flip back, I just want to make the link there. So, Miss Rumphius has just told little Alice that she must do something to make the world more beautiful. And Alice says, "All right," but I do not know yet what that can be. It's a really lovely thing that Miss Rumphius did, and I wonder if you could take that advice as well. Can you do something to make the world a bit more beautiful? I hope you enjoyed the story. The lupins are really, really beautiful flowers. The only thing to be a little bit careful of with plants called lupins is not to, I don't think you would, you're year threes, but not to eat the seed pods that they have, because they are very, very poisonous. So just to be careful of. But to be fair, you should really be careful of all plants. Don't go eating plants that aren't safe. But they are very, very beautiful to look at. Well, I hope you enjoyed that story. Have a lovely day. Bye.